Today I'm going to be showing you how to edit like Sanchez AE by remaking his Clash Royale edit. Firstly, go up to the shape tool layer, press Q if you're not already on the eclipse tool, mask around the builder, use keyframes to edit the feather and the mask expansion values, a small cover of the face to a full screen, and then graph the keyframes for smooth motion. Add a null layer and use rotation keyframes to make it rotate from right back to center. Now to make the clouds, all you want to do is just create a white solid layer, use the eclipse tool to create a circle shape, then use turbulence displace to make the clouds have movement. Hit alt click on the evolution and put time *50. They can duplicate the clouds to customize how you want the clouds to look, and then you can pre-compose it and just duplicate more clouds. Then I got images off Google of clouds, because they were of a higher quality, and I think he used something similar. I made the left clouds darker and added another custom one to the left as well. Enabled 3D on the cloud layers and position them back and try to mask out the builder's face just so they aren't covering his face. Add a water overlay like raindrops on the screen. Add a camera layer and add two null layers, make them both 3D. Use the Z position to zoom it in at the start, and on the other null, use the Z position to zoom it out at the end. Place your second clip above your first clip, then use opacity keyframes to make it fade in, and then you can add a null to that layer and make it zoom in as well. So put the first value to like 50 scale and then scale it way in and graph it. Create an adjustment layer and put it below the second clip just so it affects just the builder and not the Mega Knight clip. Then add the effect warp and go to the warp type and put it to fisheye, and then put the bend from the first keyframe from 0, and then go to the very end of the adjustment layer and put it to 100, and then do a graph. Go into the comp where the clip is, then duplicate the clip and pre-compose it, and then use the roto brush tool to mask out the builder. Create a text layer and put always, and then put it behind the builder mask, and then you can customize it to however you like. For the text effects, I use effects like deep glow, drop shadow, and gradient ramp. For the second text layer, put I wasn't, and you can use similar effects. I just used deep glow and drop shadow, and a few animation presets which I also used on always. To create the butterfly animation, all I did was add an image of a butterfly, and then I used a shape tool to mask it in half, and then I duplicated the layer and masked the other half on the second layer. And all you have to do from there is link them to a 3D null and mess with the rotation to get them to move. Then all you have to do is change the position of the butterfly. You can just copy his positioning, or you can make up your own custom. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just change the position, keyframes on the null as the butterfly moves. I added effects to the butterfly like deep glow, drop shadow, and texture flux to make it look more like Sanchez's butterfly from the original video. I animated the text to go up and fade in, and also put a mask around the butterfly and made the text appear as the butterfly passed. Add the shutter effect and copy my settings, and then create an adjustment layer and add pixel motion blur. Finally, pre-comp the layers. Go back to the main comp, add bokeh and exposure, then set keyframes. Before I start the next clip, I just want to shout out my Patreon. So I've just started my Patreon, a bunch of project files, and I'm about to release my first editing pack, also tutorials going on here. There's a bunch of content, good if you're an editor, and even if you're not, we have membership options for 2. I've got a supporter membership option, which gives you 24 hours early access to all my videos, plus a member shout out at the end of all my videos. And then we've got the full member option, which gives you the same benefits, but you get project files, editing packs, exclusive tutorials, There's also be a private Discord community, and you get to ask and request content for tutorials, whether it's an edit you want or whatever you have in your mind. Hope you consider joining, and let's get back to the video. Go into the pre-comp of the second clip, create a text layer and add evil as the text, then add a black solid layer, add saber effect to the black solid layer, and then copy these settings. Then keyframe the scale and opacity keyframes to make it zoom up and fade out. Use the Eclipse mask tool again, but this time click the inverted checkbox. Use the mask extension and feather again to create a smooth transition. Create a new text layer and put was, and then another new text layer and put just, and then invert the fill to a stroke, and then you can double tap Control T, which will make your words go downwards, and then you can do the I was just on 2 separate layers. Then duplicate the clip pre-comp, go inside of the pre-comp, roto brush out the Meganite, then click freeze. Then just move the roto brush layer above all the text layers so it is in front of them. I added an optical flare below the roto brush layer to create the shine effect that Sanchez created, and I also changed the color of the optical flare to a yellowish color. Add some clouds like you did for the first clip and just move them up as the Meganite is moving up. Then add the next clip to this pre-comp, motion tile, so it show the full clip to hide the black bars. Then add clouds to the fourth clip with the builder. Create a solid layer and add CC jaws and make the height and width the lowest possible. Completion keyframes to use black bars. Duplicate the clip, then pre-comp it, then go into the pre-comp and roto brush this clip, then freeze it once you're done. Create a text layer and put builder in the text layer, and then add some effects to make it look nicer, and then you can do some animations and some keyframes to make it look smooth. Copy the butterflies from the first clip and just change the keyframes and rotation to copy Sanchez's. For the next clip, you want to start the opacity at 0 a few frames before the clip starts, and then put it to 100 so it fades in nicely. You want to add a motion tile and then scale it way out using a null layer, and then scale it in towards the end of the clip. Add bokeh and exposure and use them at the start of when the clip starts. When the motion tile gets to the very top, put the brightness high and put the blur high, and then go to before the clip fades in and make it low. Go a few keyframes forward and make it 0 as well. Add the but they text and then just put some effects on it, the same effects we've been using for pretty much all the texts. And then you can just add a keyframe at the scale at the start and then put a scale at the end. And you can add some animations to make it look smoother and a bit of graphs. Shout out to my first Patreon member. If you want to join, a link will be in the description. And thanks so much, Zach. Thank you.